Finally now to the content team. What you're about to see is a story like no other. A story few would ever have believed possible. A story that is astounding the global medical community. One man, however, did believe this story, never doubting his own abilities. Welcome to the greatest story ever told and the greatest deal ever done. This is the GroupM content team.
When Dominic Proctor got up on stage before, he talked about advantage, and I truly believe, as the leader of the content business, that the people in this room are our advantage in the content team. The buyers, the planners, the strategists, the traders that help us get the deals we need to do across the line to make money for GroupM. You came here today to be entertained, educated, and inspired. You came to hear remarkable stories so that those stories could become your stories. Today, we've told you a story. We've used John's journey to help tell our journey. Our story of the greatest deal ever made. Okay, the greatest ever is probably a bit of a stretch creatively, but we are cutting deals like this in most of our markets across Asia now. Deals with athletes like John, online influencers and other talent. Deals with the world's biggest media properties. Deals that connect your brands with pop culture. And when you go back to Mumbai or Manila, you won't tell your friends about the amazing case study you saw. You'll tell them how the story of John McClane made you feel. That's because stories are not about characters or people. They're about emotions. And that's what makes storytelling so powerful. So I want everyone in this room to go back to your local market next week, pick up your phone, call your content team, and challenge them to find a story that will make you and your brands famous. The story we've told you today is just the beginning of our journey with John. I'm proud to announce that we're now working with him across content, partnerships, endorsements, and licensing deals. I first met John 15 years ago, and he is probably one of the most inspirational people I've ever met. But what you've seen him achieve so far in this story is nothing compared to what he's been able to achieve in the last 2 years. John's been kind enough to come here today, not just to celebrate the fact we're working together, but to inspire us all. John's had a dream for 26 years now. It's something that most of us take for granted every day of our lives. And in the last 2 years, John's relearned a skill that I think will amaze you all. Please welcome John McClane to the stage. All right, mate. Can we kill the lights and roll the tape?
25 years ago, he was an up-and-coming footy player, but while on a training ride, a truck smashed into him, leaving John paralysed from the waist down. Life in a wheelchair hasn't held him back, but John has never given up hope of walking again.
But even super-motivated John McClane needed someone to convince him that after all these years, he just might walk again.
He said, if you want to learn to walk, you better start putting your foot down.
Those first steps last May were tentative, but definite.
And gradually, one step after the other, then things were happening which I couldn't explain.
Now, less than a year later, this is a man who can walk again. For John and his family, this miracle has opened up a world of possibilities. And often it's the simplest of pleasures that prove the most rewarding. Like walking on the beach hand in hand. John McClane is back on track. And true to form, he's setting new, ever more ambitious goals. Another triathlon, this time as an able-bodied athlete. Even by John McClane's standards, this just might be his greatest challenge yet.
So, do you want a chair, mate?
I've been sitting down in a chair for 26 years, so I might stand up with you, Doctor, if that's okay.
Okay. So, John, you're out on a training ride 26 years ago, hit by an 8-ton truck on the M5 motorway in Sydney, which, average speed's 100, 120 kilometres an hour on that road. Your back was broken in 3 places and you had a lot of other injuries. You were near death, obviously. At what point did you accept that you would probably live your life in a wheelchair?
Yeah, I guess for me it was after spending all that time in a spinal unit and then coming out of there, I tried my best, to not be in a wheelchair, but unfortunately, they're tough things to overcome, and I realised, it's going to be a wheelchair for the rest of my life, but I always dreamed about having the opportunity to walk again.
Okay. Well, you were the first wheelchair athlete to complete the Hawaiian Ironman, which you did 3 times. You were inducted into the Hall of Fame. You were the first wheelchair athlete to swim the English Channel, which you did twice. And you won you represented Australia in 2 Paralympic Games and won silver in rowing. And now you're obviously walking again. What's the one sporting moment in your life that you think best defines your personal drive?
Well, I guess for me, after 26 years, to go back and do the triathlon that I was training for when I got hit by the truck. So to do a conventional triathlon after 26 years is a huge challenge. So I did the 1 kilometre swim, 30 kilometre bike ride, and then with some carbon fibre leg braces and walking poles, I managed to cover the 10 kilometres. But to finish, cross the finish line with my wife and my son holding hands was my pinnacle to date.
Great. Pretty amazing. Dr. John Yeo, who's one of the world's leading medical experts on spinal injuries, has called your recovery a medical miracle. A paraplegic is obviously someone who has lost paralysis of both legs and obviously can't walk. But they've said that the results that you've achieved in the last couple of years have probably advanced medical research by decades in this space. How does that make you feel?
Well, I guess it's very humbling, and hopefully, I don't try and take that on board, but what I hope is that we'll be able to help more people around the world to get out of the chairs and learn to walk again as I have. Okay.
So, what's next beyond content deals, sponsorships, licensing, endorsement, TV appearances? What's next in the John McClane kind of calendar?
Well, now that I can stand up, I thought I might as well have a round of golf. So I saw Jacko there trying to have a bit of a hit. So, I haven't done that. So I want to open up the world to possibilities and see what I can do.
Play golf?
Well, yeah, I kind of stand up and apparently you get a stick and you hit a white ball and you try and get in the hole.
Incredible, okay. Well, look, thanks, John, and thanks to the amazing content team that have helped pull this together today. Come up, guys. Special thanks to... Special thanks to Matteo, who actually did a lot of the scripting and the producing, directing on that video, and the editing. He's just an amazing guy. Well, John's life's always been about overcoming challenges, never giving up and finding a way. And we know everyone in their own markets has their own challenges every day, and you find your way to get past that. So we wanted this theme around finding a way to live with us after Confest is over, so after Bali is finished. So we're continuing our story by launching a hashtag campaign.
So here I am, standing up. Would you guys also help me to stand up, please? It's taken me 26 years, so I hope you wouldn't mind joining me. If it's possible to grab your mobile phone, pull it out of the pocket, turn it on, take a picture of this hashtag, and send me and the team some quality GroupM love. Thank you very much.
Find a way! Thank you.